Lord, the word that you brought us through, Rich, today, it's powerful. Ladies, each of us take it. Let it sink into our hearts, Lord. Let us use it. Let that inspire us to go out into this world today and make a difference in someone's life. So, Lord, again, I thank you for this opportunity as we meet here. Lord, just be with each and every one of us as we go out into this world today. And again, let us make a difference. Let us be your hands and feet. Let us be salt and light in someone's life who needs it, because there's plenty of people there that need it. So, Lord, again, I thank you. I thank you for each person that's here today, the commitment they make to come here to learn about you so we might grow closer to you. Be with us as we go out into this world, Lord. Thank you for what you're doing in our lives. We're anxious. We're anxious to see where you lead us. Amen. So nowhere to run. If you weren't here 2 weeks ago, I encourage you to... Bruce puts his stuff on YouTube. Jimmy put an awesome testimony together and spoke to us. He's got nowhere to run. We heard it. I mean, if it didn't move you, you're not breathing. So before I get started, I want to thank my wife, Robin, Sharon, Renee. You know, it's pretty cool when we can get some ladies to come in here. And, you know, my wife's always asking, what are you guys doing? Like, why do you do this? They can take away from what they see today and understand what we do. Nowhere to run. So most of you guys know a couple months back, my journey started, or a different chapter started. I had worked at a place for over 6 years. Great place to work, good people. And one Friday, they tell me, hey, you're done. I was like, wow, I'm done. How's that happen? What's that all about? So I didn't understand it. To this day, I don't understand it. So I accepted it. I went home. Prayed. I said, Lord, what is this? Like, what the heck happened? I'll be 51 years old. What is going on? How do I just not have a job? Like, what did I do? And if you remember when Jess was here, Jess told us that she prayed to the Lord and said, hey, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing the right things. Why are you putting me through this? Rich talked about it. It's actually my mom's favorite verse. In Psalms 46:10, he says, be still, for I am God. So all of you here who haven't figured that verse out, I want you all to think about that verse. Because that's a good place to start. So I had to wait like an hour until Denise got home so I could explain that, hey, I no longer have a job. You know, I'm done. You know, she's upset. And she's like, aren't you upset? Aren't you mad? And I was like, well, we can do this 2 ways. We can either get mad or we can accept it. Accept that God closed the door and we look for the next door. So take the high road and we'll just move on and see what God has. And that was tough. You know, it's easy when you talk to people, and I have people in this room, Sam, Joe, Rich, Jimmy, Daryl. I mean, there's too many to name. Tommy and I get together every other week. It's almost 4 years for Men of Iron. You guys that are in Men of Iron, it's a great program. Gives you accountability. For us, it's not about accountability anymore. We do life. Every other week, we get together for about 3 hours, and we just do life. I go home, and Denise says, how was your meeting? Good. Tell me what you talked about. Nope, can't tell you. It's not for you, it's for us. Because we do what we do, my marriage is better. Because we do what we do, his marriage is better. Because we do what we do, we come here. We come here. We see what this does. Rich touched on it earlier. You know, the backbone of why we started this almost 7 years ago. Bob, how many ministries last 7 years? They don't. Guys are all gung-ho, yeah, let's do this. We're almost 7 years into this. it's strong because we hear from guys. We hear testimonies of what they went through and how it affected them and how their lives have changed. And this is why we get up and we do this. It strengthens you. You sit and go, wow, like I'm not the only person that goes through that. It's not just me. Other guys suffer with this stuff. Other guys don't understand. So back to my journey. So, you can't figure it out. And as long as you're talking to people, and I call Johnny Lehman, and I call Sharon Kroll, and I call these people, and I say, hey, I don't have a job. Like, what am I going to do? If I could tell you how many people said to me, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. And at one point, I lost it. And I said to Denise, if one more person says to me, you're going to be okay, I said, I'm going to punch him in the throat. I'm so tired of hearing, you're going to be okay. In the back of my mind, I knew I was going to be okay. My wife was there every day, my rock. She didn't stress, I stressed. There's a purpose for that. There's a reason for that. So, be still. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. My stomach's churning. I'm saying, God, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing in this spot? So, the day that, I'm sorry, let me go back. So, I get released Friday. Sunday morning, I talked to Randy Hershey, and Randy says, don't worry, I have a job for you. I'm like, really? A job? That quick? I'm like, wow, okay. This is good. So fast forward 7 or 8 weeks and I start a job. 2 months into that job, things just aren't going good. I don't have a job again. Now I don't have a job again. And I go home and I'm like, okay, God, like, what's this all about? Another door closes. What's this all about? So I got on my knees and I said, Lord, I know you're there. I call people because for me, when I have a chance to speak to other people, it helps me understand. It helps take that burden off. It helps me come to grips with the situation, how it's happening. I go to breakfast Saturday morning. We're there at 5 o'clock in the morning. Another testament to what this Bible study does and what we're doing. Scott, Darrell, and myself, Don, we've got guys that show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Dave Radcliffe, we show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Nobody can understand what we're doing. It's amazing. Those of you who haven't been there, we'll be there tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. If you're struggling with something, if you need help with something, ask Jimmy what it does for him. Jimmy's been coming faithfully now for a year. It's amazing. It's just a support group. It's guys to listen, to understand what you're going through. It helps. So I got on my knees and I said, Lord, I need your help. Like, I need you to help me here. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I said, I'm vowing, I'm telling you that I'm going to get on my knees every morning. Every morning. I know you're going to help me through this. I'm going to get on my knees every morning. Some mornings, I didn't get on my knees. I got on my face. I remember mornings waking up at 3 in the morning. My stomach's churning. I don't know what to do. I'm on my living room floor in the dark with my dog beside me on my face saying, Lord, help me. Why am I going through this? What comes out of this? What am I going to do? How are we going to make mortgage payments? How are we going to do this? Help me. So through that, I found a new favorite verse for myself because I had interviews. I had somebody offer me a job. Just give me some time. I'll get it straightened out and we'll get you started. And another door closed. And I said, man, here we go again. How does this work? And then one morning, I got a text from Don Rodman. He says, hey, we have a job here at Tanger. You should probably talk to Bruce. I think this job would fit you. I think you'd be good at it. And I thought, okay. So I texted Bruce. Bruce says, I'll get a hold of you. Bruce got a hold of me. Start interview process. Again, every morning I'm on my knees or I'm on my face and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I had 8 interviews. I went through 8 interviews, the last 4 in North Carolina at their headquarters. And and God just kept opening doors and not closing them. So I leave North Carolina and I fly home, and Bruce says to me, hey, I'll know whether you got the job by the end of the day. So by the time you get back home, I'll know. And so those 2 flights from North Carolina, they were tough. Because I thought to myself, I need to show joy in everything I do here. I was feeling pretty down one Friday morning, and Rich scolded me. He said, hey, you can't show that. Like, I understand you're down, but you can't show that. Don't let people see that. So I vowed at that point, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be joyful in everything that I do, because the Lord tells us to do that. So I'm flying home, and the first stop, I turn my phone on, nothing. Like, okay. So the second stop, I turn my phone on, nothing. I'm like, man, Lord, what is, like, I just need an answer. I got this, I did, it doesn't make any difference. I just want an answer. So Denise picks me up at the airport. We get on 283, Bruce texts me, and he says, call me. So I called him, and you guys know Bruce. He picks up the phone. He says, hey, where are you? I said, well, we just got on 283. He says, hey, I just got off the phone with Betty, my boss, and I got some bad news for you. And I just slumped in the front of her truck. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. He says, yeah, Betty said she hopes you don't have any plans Thanksgiving night because you're going to be working. You know, Bruce has paybacks. They're coming. I got to figure out how I do it, because he's my boss now, so I can't. I got to figure it out. But it's just such a sense of relief, you know. And I couldn't wait. I called Don, and I called Sharon, and I called John Lehman, all these people that supported me through all this. Joe Turk, I got it, and everybody's excited. So here's the verse that I keep going back to. It's Hebrews 11:6. And it says, without faith, it is impossible to please God. Because anyone that comes to him must believe that he exists, and he rewards those who earnestly seek him. I believe that I am where I am today because I made a choice, and I don't use that verse. I use NIV, and it says, those who diligently seek him. And I believe that I'm where I'm at today. In fact, I know it because all you people here, Rich said at the beginning of this thing, he has you where you're at because that's where you're supposed to be. I'm where I'm at because I diligently seek him. So every day I diligently seek him. I talk to my small group. We break up here, and I say, I use Kurtisms, and I use them all the time. Kurt says, show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. So we came to this church about 8.5 years ago, and most of these people in this room I've never seen before in my life. Most of these guys here, I had no idea who they were. Now, they're my core group of friends. They're the people that surround me. They're the people that shape me. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. So this is why I keep leaning and going back to this group. This group is instrumental in what happens in your life. Look at Tony. Tony came here, then he didn't come here, now he's back. Tony teaches in this group. I mean, this is amazing. God opens doors, God does stuff. Kurt preached a couple weeks ago about understanding what God has for you. Understanding what he is laying out before you and why. When you figure that out, there's a whole new meaning in life. I think I have it figured out. He wants me to share him with people. In my new job, I come in contact with lots of people all day long. My mission is to share God's love. And that might be through a conversation, might be through a smile, it might be through opening a door for somebody. But I know what God wants from me. I know what he has for me. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Sharon's been saying to me for a while, it's a wild ride. Hold on. I'm telling you what. It's like when the roller coaster comes around and you're braking because you're going to get off. You want to say to the guy, I'm not getting off. Start me again. And you just want to keep going. You just want to keep going. So as I wrap this thing up, let me encourage anybody here that's going through a tough time. I mean, be still. Be still. Continue to pray. Let these guys around you lift you up. Let them be your support system.